Before the game of snooker really took off, there used to be quite a few amateur tournaments, and they had one at Granada Television, which I managed to win. It was for the top 8 amateurs in Britain at the time. And because I'd won it, they decided that they were going to run a series of programs called How to Play the Game, Snooker. So I thought, well, the only way I can do this and make it credible, I'll have to get a book on how you play snooker. And there was a book by Joe Davis, Snooker for the Complete Amateur. So every week before I went in the studio with Gerald Sinsat to discuss some technique and how you play a certain shot, I'd have Joe Davis's book and I'd be leafing through it and this, that and the other. And that's basically what I based all my ideas on, was Joe Davis's book. And I'd never met Joe Davis. I mean, he was a legend, but I never met him. And then a few years later, I met him and he went, "You're that young man who did that television program about how to play snooker." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Very good." He said, "You come out with some wonderful ideas then." I never admitted it was all his, but maybe he's forgotten them.
I remember in my late amateur days playing up in Pontes in Prestart, and there's this big pro-am tournament, and all the big stars are there. Anyway, I got through to play against Alex Higgins in the final. He was giving me 21 start, and it was packed. There was 2,500 people. It was absolutely fabulous. Anyway, I'm 2-0 up, feeling rather good, and I've got to go to the toilet. So I can't get out past the table. There's so many people there. Don't get me wrong, they hadn't come to watch me, but I couldn't get out. So anyway, when I finally got out to the toilet, which was about 30 yards away, who was in there was Joe Davis, because he was invited to watch the final, and he was with Ray Reid and all the other pros in the front. I mean, I was so thrilled, you know. Well, I never say anything to Joe Davis. I mean, he was everybody's hero, and I was just like standing there like you do in the toilet, and all of a sudden Joe Davis has gone, "You never know what Alex is going to come out with, do you?" And I said, "No." And I thought, he spoke to me. I was so thrilled. Anyways, first to 7, and I lost 7-4, because that's all I could think of after that was Joe Davis had spoken to me in the toilet in Prestart. What a memory.
Some of the stories about Joe, he was a real character. Fred, totally the opposite. Fred was very quiet, gentleman. Joe was quite arrogant, but what a fascinating man. And I remember one of the stories he was telling me, he was playing an exhibition, it was somewhere way up in the north of England, and the tables, some of the tables he used to play exhibitions on were terrible. And it was a snowy night, and they were walking the snow into the club, and everything wasn't right, and the table wasn't right, but the people didn't know that. So Joe said to one of the committee members, he said, "Any chance of buying this table?" Well, they couldn't believe the great Joe Davis wanted their table. So at the interval, there was a quick committee meeting, and he came back and he said to Joe, "Yes, Mr. Davis, you can buy the table. Do you want to put it in your house?" And Joe said to him, he said, "No," he said, "it's bonfire night next week. I'd like to burn the thing to the ground."